Good morning, Sasha. It's Thursday morning, February 20th. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the sermon that Ryan preached this weekend, right before we did our epic trek up to Connecticut and back. We did, what was that, about 10 and a half, no, it was more like about 11 or so hours of driving within probably about 36 hours. So lots and lots of driving, but definitely felt like we needed to be there to support Hope and Mom as they were really going through this. And now, whose allergy is the worst? Well, Hope may have a slight claim there because she ended up in the hospital overnight, which I don't think anyone else has done. But all allergies are serious. We need to take them all seriously. But anyway, one of the things, this was, as Ryan was talking, he talked about just how the law can sometimes sort of stifle us a little bit. I thought it was very interesting, this idea that the law kind of gives you a minimum. He used the example of the Titanic, that at the time the Titanic was built, the law only required a certain number of lifeboats. And because of that, the Titanic, which was like 4 times larger than any other boat that had been built at that time, it had 1/4 of the lifeboats that it really needed, which, no surprise, 75% of the passengers all died in the sinking of the Titanic. But had they kind of really taken the spirit of that law, which was we need to provide safety for everyone on board, then they definitely would have had more lifeboats. And so the idea behind kind of that analogy in Ryan's message was that we give 10%. The 10% is only mentioned a very few times in the Bible. It's really the first time is when Abraham is presenting sacrifices to a priest called Melchizedek, and he says, give 1/10. And so I just want to encourage you to think about, maybe money is not a big resource that you have, but time, energy, effort, the gifts that God's given you, the ability to take charge, command, all the things that we've talked about in your strengths, those are all gifts from God. Those are all things that God can use, and I think God would love to use those. And so I just want to encourage you to think about what are ways that I can use the gifts that God has given me in order to really minister, whether that is trying to start a Bible study. And again, I don't want to suggest that you need to add more to your plate, but that's something that you could do. Or just get involved with the Bible study that's already going, maybe one you don't have to start or run, but you can just show up and maybe contribute some, maybe just help people out. Maybe there's someone on the acro tumbling team you could talk about, spiritual things with, or maybe someone at ROTC, or just maybe someone in the dorms. But I just want to encourage you to think about that God has given you tremendous gifts and talents. You're an incredibly talented and gifted individual. I just want to encourage you to think about, how can I use those talents to serve God, to give back to God? Because God did not intend just to give you those talents. So, this idea that, you take the talent, you hide it away. Like, that's not what God wants us to do. He wants us to use the gifts that He's given us in order to serve those around us. So I just want to encourage you to do that. Look for little ways, not asking you to add a bunch of stuff to your time or to your schedule, but maybe as you are going. In fact, that's actually sort of the way the verse goes in Matthew 28:18-20, where it says, go and make disciples of all nations. Really, the right translation of that is, as you are going, make disciples. So just want to encourage you to think about, look around a little bit, maybe pray a little bit, ask God, hey God, where are there people around me that maybe I can encourage, maybe that I can do things with? Or just as I'm going, the things that I'm already doing, maybe I can just add a little bit more emphasis on being spiritual or having some spiritual conversations. Anyway, don't want to put any pressure on you, but just want to encourage you to think about doing that. Anyway, we love you, and we'll talk to you later. Tomorrow will be Strengths Friday. Talk to you then. Love you.